Darkness, silence. Imagine this was all you had ever known, locked in a phantom world of perpetual loneliness, which others do not share nor understand. You have never heard a word spoken, and language is alien. You have never seen the movement of lips, and speech is inconceivable. You are conscious, but it is an empty consciousness that is a shadow of the richness of human experience. For Helen Keller, this wasn't imaginative theatre, but her reality. Although a prisoner in this dark world where she would remain for life, her story shows us that connecting with humanity knows no boundaries. It was with the touch of a cold flow of water which first revealed the mystery of language to Helen. Her hand placed under the spout of the water pump, Helen's teacher, Anne Sullivan, spelled out the word W-A-T-E-R, water, on her palm. Suddenly, the substances flowing over her hand had meaning. The doors to an entirely new world swung open. Eager to learn more, Helen soon discovered miraculously that everything around her had a name and a meaning. She quickly mastered the alphabet, expanded her vocabulary, and acquired the ability to read and write. No longer condemned to a futile existence, Helen would soon be the first deaf-blind person to graduate college. But it was her lack of hearing which proved her greatest challenge. For as Helen herself put it, where the darkness cut her off from things, it was the silence that cut her off from people, the most isolating feeling of all. But then, the seemingly impossible happens, as expressed in this poignant letter. In it, Keller writes to the New York Symphony Orchestra after their performance of Beethoven's Ninth Symphony at the world-famous Carnegie Hall. Dear friends, I have the joy of being able to tell you that, although deaf and blind, I spent a glorious hour last night listening over the radio to Beethoven's Ninth Symphony. I do not mean to say that I heard the music in the sense that other people heard it, and I do not know whether I can make you understand how it was possible for me to derive pleasure from the symphony. It was a great surprise to myself. Last night, when the family was listening to your wonderful rendering of the Immortal Symphony, someone suggested that I put my hand on the receiver and see if I could get any of the vibrations. What was my amazement to discover that I could feel not only the vibrations, but also the impassioned rhythm, the throb and the urge of the music. The intertwined and intermingling vibrations from different instruments enchanted me. I could actually distinguish the cornets, the roll of the drums, deep-toned violas and violins singing in exquisite unison. How the lovely speech of the violins flowed and ploughed over the deepest tones of the other instruments. The great chorus throbbed against my fingers with poignant pause and flow. Then, all the instruments and voices together burst forth, an ocean of heavenly vibration. As I listened, with darkness and melody, shadow and sound filling all the room, I could not help remembering that the great composer who poured forth such a flood of sweetness into the world was deaf like myself. I marvelled at the power of his quenchless spirit, by which out of his pain he wrought such joy for others. And there I sat, feeling with my hand the magnificent symphony which broke like a sea upon the silent shores of his soul and mine. Let me thank you warmly for all the delight which your beautiful music has brought to my household and to me. Each line brimming with enthusiasm. Helen dissects the beauty of the music that so many had imagined it inconceivable for her to enjoy. Her appreciation is of the purest expression, for without use of her ears, she was probably one of the few people who heard the Ninth Symphony the way its composer likely had. A century apart, one deaf person touching the heart of another through music that neither could hear. Helen's letter represents the formidable bond of human connection. Neither time nor their defective hearing could keep them apart. As if inspired by her connection with Beethoven, everywhere she went on her global crusade, she sought to champion greater opportunity for the deaf and the blind, leaving an indelible impression in the form of inspired hearts and minds. More than an inspiration, however, Helen Keller was an ambassador for humanity. Helen Keller with a letter for the ages.